This is so true. And since a million of you have a lot of thoughts and opinions about Bronze Age clothing in film, we're going to talk about it some more. And let's get the ladies dressed up now. Since we know there are going to be some fantastic actresses in this movie as well, we've got Charlize Theron, we've got Zendaya, we've got Lupita Nyong'o, and others who have not been publicly announced yet. Let's get them dressed right for the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age in the Mediterranean was generally a fantastic time for art, and we have tons of it. Mycenaean art, one example seen here on this lovely bit of pottery, can be a bit stylized, so it's kind of hard to extrapolate what clothing should look like on a real living person from these really fun and kind of funky designs. As with later Greek art, we do have pottery depicting guys in armor doing fun battle things. And we have some very clear Bronze Age funkiness on display. Look, we got helmets with horns. But when it comes to clothing, and specifically clothing for women or just people who aren't soldiers, we have our good friends the Minoans to thank for some really fantastic examples of what actual clothing looked like during that time period. And this gives us even more examples of that beautiful, colorful Bronze Age weirdness that I've been talking about. And also, color! We have blue. Blue and saffron yellow were two very, very popular colors. Simple but colorful tunics like this were very common for just everyday people doing everyday things. Again, this is a tunic time period. We do not see anything resembling a chiton or a toga just yet. Here's another lovely example. I think this one was from Akrotiri. And again, a beautiful dress. We have saffron yellow, we have bold red, we have blue, in these really cool, fun, layered dresses. And here's another example that's working more with blue. And as always, we have the Living History community to thank for finding really interesting ways to visualize and create actual moving, living versions of these garments and putting them on real people to see how they would actually look. Obviously, some adjustments have been made because the sort of open bust style that was very popular for the Minoans specifically doesn't really work for us these days in our current societies. But I thought this was a beautiful example of a modern recreation of the dress scene over there in the fresco. And that gives you a really good idea of how something like this would have actually looked with all the borders and the patterns and the tassels. Need to make sure that there are tassels. So stuff that looks like this is what our ladies should be wearing in this film. And this is going to be specifically the ladies that are in what we now consider Greece. Anybody from the Trojan side of things is going to be different because their fashions were influenced by everything happening over in this area of the world. The place in modern Turkey that is associated with the historical city of actual Troy is up here. And again, different land, different culture, different vibes. If you're familiar with Bronze Age history at all, you're going to see some familiar names. We've got Hattusa right here, Kingdom of Mitanni is over here. So an easy way to think about it is that folks over here are going to be looking a bit more Hittite, if you can visualize this in your mind, or you can Google it for some fun images. And then